Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Ali Gruber here with Yoga State and our friends at Trim.co. Really excited to bring you a nice Friday flow. So our last class with Trim.co, it's been such an awesome experience for us to be able to bring this practice to you to the comfort of your homes. So today you won't need any props unless there's anything that you regularly like to use. Having it handy nearby could be nice. However, we are going to do a lot of grounded moves today. So if you have just a blanket, a small pillow, a towel, if you have none of these things handy, you can always flip your mat over for a little extra cushion and comfort. So if you need to, please feel free to run and grab those items if it would make your practice a little bit more enjoyable today. And when you're ready, meet me in child's pose. As you find your way onto your mat, sink your hips to your heels and allow your forehead to release down towards the ground. So you already have a couple of options here. You can keep your knees nice and close together, which will allow your lumbar spine to fold in its most natural normal curve. You can also take your knees a little further apart with your toes touching behind your body, reaching your arms out towards the front of the room, or if you'd like to join me, take your hands together and draw your thumbs to the nape of your neck. Just let your arms release, let your shoulders relax, and then take a moment to notice if you have any stress or tension in between your eyebrows, in your jaw. Notice where you can release a little bit of that tension. If you're holding on in your shoulders at all, can you find a little relaxation even into the tips of your fingers? So notice if you're holding at all or if you're really just allowing yourself to sit in a space to observe. So we want to take these few first moments of practice today and just allow yourself to settle into the space that you've already created. So if you've been practicing yoga a lot, you might already allow yourself to get into this mindset pretty easily. If you're newer to yoga, it might be a little bit newer concept, but really all it means is to settle into the here and now. Using the activities that led you up to this moment in your day to just sit outside of the four corners of your mat, to allow the things that you need to do post practice to just sit there. One little yoga trick that we have in order to get into the present moment is to focus on your breath. So for these next few moments, without needing to necessarily change a thing, just notice your inhales and exhales. Without intentionally trying to bring movement into your practice, just notice the subtle shifts of your body as you breathe in. Maybe your lower back starts to rise, your rib cage might start to expand. And as you exhale, perhaps you start to sink a little bit lower into the shape that you've created. And moving from a space of a natural breath to a little bit more of an intentional breathing. So slowly start to breathe in and out with a little bit more depth. On your next inhale, draw in for a count of 4. Let's do that together for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top, hold it in, and slowly exhale out for 4 all together for 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top and exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see if you can maintain this breath as we start to move just in and out through your nose. So reaching your arms out towards the front of the mat if they were at the nape of your neck, keeping your forehead down, keeping your upper body down. You take your right hand, slide it underneath your left arm. Just in this nice stretch for your shoulder. And just take a breath here, in with control and out. Release your right arm Extend out towards the front of the mat, switching sides. Take your left hand underneath your right arm, reach towards the side of your room. With your palm, get a little bit deeper into your shoulder girdle again. Breathe in and out. Then release your left hand towards the top of the mat. Your next inhale, draw up to your tabletop pose, planting your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees under your hips. On your next inhale, take your gaze up, send your belly down, flare your hips towards the back of the room. As you exhale, tuck your chin towards your chest, scoop and round your spine. Again, inhale to gaze up, send your belly down, just moving at the pace of your breath. Exhale, tuck your chin, scoop and round. If you're moving a little quicker or slower than me, that's okay. Just move at your breath a couple more times. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, tuck and round. One more time. We'll meet back up in neutral spine. Your inhale will take you up. Exhale, tuck your chin towards your chest. As you make your way to your neutral spine, just push energy through your shoulders, spread your fingertips wide, and from here, tuck your toes. As you tuck your toes under, I just want you to hug your belly button in towards your spine and start to hover your knees over your mat. So push up through your shoulders and engage your core. So breathe in and out, nice and controlled. Not all core work comes in the form of sit-ups. It can come in different forms. So from here, breathe, breathe, breathe. Yes, you can. You got this. And slowly release your knees down. Let the tops of your feet, the shoelace tops of your feet, release back down to the mat. From here, extend your left foot out towards the back of your space. Put a flex in your ankle so your toe points down. Then reach your right arm out towards the front of your space with your thumb facing up as if you're going to shake someone's hand. So these next couple of movements here that we'll take on our breath, try not to go with momentum, but really imagine that this is a core exercise. Take a deep breath in, reach and expand. As you exhale, hug your elbow towards your knee underneath your body. Curl in. Find that little rounding of your shoulders. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, extend with control, not momentum. Exhale, extend. Yes, one more time. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in. Awesome job, you guys. Reach back out. Now put a bend in your knee. Sweep your hand back. If it's available to grab a hold of your ankle or the top of your foot, find this nice opening for your shoulders. Take a breath. In and out. Slowly release back and release on down. Now let's take that turbo version again. Tuck your toes, hover your knees over your mat. Okay, taking a few breaths here. Push down through all 10 fingers. Push down, extend your shoulders. Yes, you can. Hover your knees and breathe. Most important part, your breath. Deep breath in and out. Just another breath here. You can do this and release your knees down, top of the feet. Find a little wiggle if you need for your shoulders. And when you're ready, meet me here, right foot towards the back of your space with your foot flexed downward. So the pinky edge of your toe is down. Your heel about hips height here. Reach your left fingertips out, thumb facing up. Hug your belly button in towards your spine. Breathe in. Exhale, hug elbow towards me. Yes, you can. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in with control. You got this. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in. One more time. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in. Inhale to extend, then put a bend in your knee. Sweep back, take a breath here. Still trying to find balance, but if you can, start to kick your foot towards the back of the room a little bit to open up through your shoulder. Breathe in. You got this, and slowly release. Come back to your tabletop pose. One more time. Last one of practice, I promise. Hug your belly button in towards your spine. Tuck your toes. Hover your knees. Push energy through the palms of your hands. You got this. Deep breaths in and out. Yes, you can. Breathe in and out. One more breath here. Yes, you can. From here, start to lift your hips, draw your heels towards the ground, come to a first downward facing dog with practice. Just start to pedal out your feet as you bend a little back and forth, rocking your hips. As one knee bends, the opposite heel releases down to the mat. If this is really intense for your hamstrings, you can always keep a micro bend in your knees If you have really open hamstrings, you can release your heels down and maybe even see if you can float your toes up. Draw into stillness, take a breath. Try to notice where your head is in space. Trying to see if you can get your ears in between your biceps. So we're trying to find a little bit of alignment, but that's okay. It's got to be how it feels. If it feels good, you're doing it right. You got this. Melt your heart back towards your thighs and just take a breath here. On your next inhale, roll out to your high plank pose. Find some length. Yes, you can. Deep breath in. Then lift your hips back high to your downward facing dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet at the back of your mat. With your feet about hips distance apart, let your upper body hang down. Walk your hands from side to side on your mat. See if you can allow your head to hang heavy. So notice if you're looking up at your fingertips or if you can release down. Shake your head yes and no if you're not quite sure. If you're there yet, give it a yes and no. Then hang forward. Slowly inhale to halfway lift. Fingertips can stay on the ground or take your hands to your shins. Extend out through the crown of your head. On your exhale, release down. Let your head hang heavy and slowly roll up one vertebra at a time as you make your way up to stand. Last thing to lift, the crown of your head. Give a little shrug of your shoulders up and back. Just release up and down, then settle here. On your next inhale, circle your arms up, breathe in. Exhale, release and fold, hinging at the waist. Draw your fingertips down, take your gaze through your legs. Inhale to halfway lift, find length, fingertips to the ground or to your shins. And on your exhale, walk out to your high plank pose. Take a breath here. Push down through all 10 fingers. You got this. Slowly release your knees, your chest, then your chin. So anytime we take our chaturanga, here's an option. From here, come into a little baby back bend. Keep your gaze down towards the top of your mat. And then as you lift your shoulders up, start to squeeze your shoulders back so you can energetically hear. Your toes can stay down on the ground. If you want to lift them, that's up to you. And then see if you can lift your hands just to hover. So a little more work for your back. You're firing up here. Deep breath in. And slowly plant your hands down, draw up through your tabletop pose. Tuck your toes, hips lift, downward facing dog. Slowly start to walk your feet up to the top of the mat. As you walk your feet up, meet about hips distance apart. Take your hands to grab opposite elbows, ragdoll pose. Rock back and forth as little or as deep as you'd like. Back and forth, side to side. Then release your hands down to the ground. Plant your right hand down, left arm lifts. Breathe in and expand. Exhale to release on down. Switch sides. Left hand down, right arm lifts. Breathe in, expand. Look up, gaze up. Exhale to release. Inhale, come halfway, find length through your spine. Exhale to lower down. This time, inhale, circle your arms around as you stand up. Breathe in and take your hands to heart center. Take a breath in. Exhale out all your air. Release your arms down. Circle around, breathe in. Exhale to fold, hinging at the waist. Draw your fingertips down. Take your gaze through your legs. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips to ground or to shin. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to your downward facing dog, hips draw high. On your inhale, come out to your high plank pose, your choice, knees, chest, chin, or lower down halfway for your chaturanga. Inhale to your upward or take your cobra if you'd prefer. And exhale to meet all together, downward facing dog. Either roll over your toes or come through your tabletop pose. Take a breath in. Let it all go. Your next inhale, lift your right leg high. Find some length, but notice if you open or if you can keep your pinky toe edge released down towards the ground. On your exhale, plant your foot, in between your hands. Just find a nice lunge. Sink forward and then start to straighten out your front leg. Just taking a breath here. Back and forth. Sink forward, then straighten out. Forward and straighten. Awesome job, you guys. Just working through the hips, the spine, the shoulders this morning. Plant your hands back down. Lift your right leg back high to the sky. Breathe in. This time, plant your knee down right below your waistline. So your toes pointing towards the back of the room, knee down. We're coming into a modified version of our plank pose. When you feel the balance, and this is a great pose too, if you have a little bit harder surface, you may want to slide something underneath your knee. But if you're ready, when you're ready, lift your left fingertips up high to the sky. So here in this modified variation of our side plank, Vashisthasana pose, find your balance by hugging your belly button into your spine. From here, slowly start to lift your left foot up, keep a flex in your ankle. Now to challenge our balance, see if you can kick your left foot forward. Keep a flex, try to keep your foot hips height. So really engaging the core here, breathe, breathe, breathe. Awesome job, you guys. Then extend your foot back. Now this time, put a bend in your knee. See if you can reach your hand back to grab a hold of your foot. Gaze can be down to help stay grounded. It can be up to challenge your balance. Take a breath. You got this. When you're ready, left hand travels back down. Tuck your left toes. Lift your right leg back high to the sky. Breathe in. On your exhale, plant your foot in between your hands. Left knee draws down. This time, we're coming into our low crescent lunge. So fingertips will draw up high to the sky as you sink forward. So I'm going to take a pause, just a couple of breaths here. Notice if your shoulders are shrugged at all or if you can relax a little bit down. Take a breath in. And on your exhale, plant your hands down, straighten out your front leg, come into your half splits pose and breathe. So hands can come down to the mat. Your foot can be flexed to fire up your hamstring. It can be a little bit more relaxed if you're feeling it already. Release the crown of your head down to feel this even deeper if that's where you need to go to feel a sensation today. Take a breath in and breathe out. Awesome job, you guys. Slowly shift the weight of your body back forward. Retuck your back toes, your left toes. Come draw in to lift your right leg back high to the sky. We've been here before. Exhale, plant your foot in between your hands. This time, back knee staying up, pivot your back foot down. When you're ready, rise up, warrior one, fingertips draw up high to the sky, hip points towards the front of your space. Take a breath in. On your exhale, clasp your hands behind your back. So interlace your fingers and then see if you can keep a nice bend in your right knee. Find a little bit of a back bend. So as you draw your knuckles down towards the ground, see if you can take your gaze upward. So if you're finding that you're a little rocky at all, it's okay to just pause here, keep a straight gaze, but breathe in. On your exhale, draw down to the inside of your right foot. So as you draw down, let the crown of your head hang heavy, and then see if you can lift your knuckles up towards the ceiling. So humbly bow, warrior. Breathe in. Take an exhale out. Release your hands. Take your left hand down on the inside of your right foot. Lift your right fingertips up high to the sky. So in a nice big twist here. So find this rotation, this openness with your right shoulder. Rotate to the outer edge of your back foot. From here, we're going to start to sink our hips down and reach your right hand towards the back of your space. Into our horizon lunge. This is a great place to pause for your hips. If this is a little intense, stay right here. This is a great shape and a space to breathe as well. Just a couple of breaths in and out. Awesome job, you guys. Breathing in, one more here. Plant your right hand on the inside of your right foot. We're coming into our lizard lunge. So start to shift your body a little bit back and forth. When you're ready, release your back knee down. If it feels good to kind of rock a little bit, stay there. That's a great place. Left hand can stay down, or you could come down onto your forearm for this next shape we're going to build together. You could also take your blanket again underneath your knee anytime your knees are down on your mat. From here, put a bend in your left knee. Sweep your right hand back to grab a hold of your foot if it's available. If that's really intense for your quad, which it can be, especially if you're a runner, you can take your hand to apply just a small amount of pressure to the inside of your right knee to find a nice hip opener. Both shapes are going to provide a tremendous amount of benefits for your body. Breathe in. Breathe out. Awesome job, you guys. When you're ready, regather both hands at the top of your space. Lift your hips back up, retuck your back toes if they're not there. Step your right foot back to your downward facing dog. Come back to your breath, breathing in and out. So we're gonna even out our hips here. Lift your left leg high to the sky, breathe in. On your exhale, plant your foot in between your hands. From here, we're just gonna shift forward, lower your right hip down towards the mat, then straighten out your left leg. So it doesn't even need to really look a specific way. The intent here is just to start to open up through the hips, through the hamstrings, and to even everything out. So we sink forward, lengthen back one more time. Awesome job, you guys. And when you're ready, you're gonna lift your left foot back high to the sky. Breathe in. On your exhale, plant your knee down underneath your waist. Pivot your back foot down. We're coming into a modified version of our side plank pose. Left hand rooted down, right hand reaches up right above your left. Come back to your breath, hug your belly button in towards your spine. So this is like a little sneaky core work here. When you're ready today, I want you to find your balance and lift your right foot up off the mat. Put a flex in your ankle, and from here, kick your foot forward. So breathe, breathe, breathe. Try to keep your foot hips height. So fire up your leg right here. Breathe in. And when you're ready, release your foot back and put a bend in your knee. Grabbing a hold of your foot. Find this opening again. You can gaze down here to find some grounding. You can gaze up to challenge your balance. Your drishti, or your focus point on what you're looking at, can be a tremendous help for balance. Take another breath here. You got this, you guys. When you're ready, release back out. You're gonna tuck your right toes and lift your left leg high to the sky. Breathe in. On your exhale, left foot plants in between your hands, back knee draws down. Coming into our low crescent lunge, the top of your back foot down on the mat, sweep your fingertips up high to the sky. Breathe in. Sink forward, fingertips lift, your gaze can follow. Take another breath here. Y'all are doing awesome. I just know it. Hands draw down, half splits pose. Straighten out your front leg, put a flex in your ankle. Again, you might pause here. You might be a little bit more relaxed in your ankle, but if you're ready to fire it up, put your flex and release and fold forward, trying to keep your hip point squared towards the front of your mat. Reconnect with your breath in these moments where we pause. You got this, you guys. Sink the weight of your body back forward. When you're ready, tuck your right toes, lift your hips, draw your left leg high to the sky. On your exhale, plant your foot in between your hands, pivot your back foot down. Rise up to your warrior one pose. Take a breath here. On your exhale, clasp your hands behind your back. So really start to interlace your fingers and then draw your knuckles down towards the ground. So as you're opening through your heart, through your chest, you're still keeping your hips squared off towards the front. So from here, keep your bend in your left knee, breathe in, and on your exhale, fold to the inside of your left leg. Trying not to open to the side, but trying to stay squared off towards the front. So notice if you can draw your right hip a little closer forward, left hip back. Crown of the head hangs heavy, and breathe. In. Awesome job, you guys. And out. Just a couple more breaths here before we move into our twists and our lunges. When you're ready, release your right hand to the inside of your left foot. Left heel lift. Left fingertips lift up high. Breathe. In and out. You can stay right here or rotate to the outer edge of your back foot. Sink your hips down and reach your hand towards the back of your mat. Take your gaze to follow. Another breath here. Let this sink into your hips. When you're ready, your left hand will plant to the inside of your left foot. So in our lizard lunge, lots of options. We're going to take that nice quad stretch here. So from here, when you're ready, right knee drops down. You can stay on your right hand for this move, or you can come down onto your right forearm and reach back to grab a hold of your foot if it's available. Otherwise, opportunity to take your left hand to your left knee, apply just a small amount of pressure to help open up your hip. Not a lot, a little goes a long way in this pose. Take your breath in, couple breaths here. Awesome job, you guys. Breathe in and out. Releasing your right foot, hands come to plant. Tuck your toes back and step to your downward facing dog. Just pedal out your feet a little back and forth, side to side, and slowly start to walk up to meet your feet at the top of the mat, coming into your fold. Sink your hips down nice and low, make your way to sit. Crisscross your legs and sweep your arm. On your exhale, right arm travels down, left hand reaches up and over. On your inhale, come back up through center, switch sides. Left hand down, right arm lifts up and over. Inhale to lift up, breathe in, and take your hands to heart center. Plant the soles of your feet down, knees bent, arms reach out towards the front of your space, slowly lower down onto your back. As you make your way down, hug your knees in towards your heart. Take your arms out nice and wide like a T. Just let your knees drip over to the left. Take a nice spinal twist. If you'd like, keeping your right shoulder down, take your gaze over towards your right hand. And using the strength of the center line of your body, take your knees up through center. Let them drip over to the right, keeping your left shoulder down. Take your gaze to the left. When you feel ready, make your way back up through center. Awesome job, you guys. Take your feet back down to the mat, arms along the sides of your body. Let your feet extend out towards the front of your room, of course, the front of your space that you've created here. And making your way into one of the, if the, not the most important pose of our practice, our final Shavasana or corpse pose. Take a breath in through your nose. Take a big open mouth, ha breath out. Do that again, one more time. Deep breath in. Exhale, ha. If you feel comfortable, allow your eyes to simply close down and just let your breath come in back into its natural, normal breathing patterns. Breathe. This space and this shape is available for you if you have extra time in your morning, or if you're joining us a little bit later on. To stay here for a little bit longer, please do. If you're ready to take your practice off of your mat, you can slowly make your way up. But thank you so much for joining this morning. It's been such an honor to just move and breathe with you today. Again, thank you. My name's Ali Gruber. Much appreciation and gratitude. Namaste.